What's going on, y'all? Sean here, and I officially did 500 hill sprints in the month of August 2024. So this is the 30th of August. So yeah, I did it. So I just kind of wanted to share my experience a little bit, and I also wanted to talk a little bit about what I learned. I'm gonna try to make this a short video. Um, so yeah, I did 500 hill sprints. So if you followed me for a while, you know that I love hill sprints. And the reason why I love hill sprints is because I like to be able to run. I specifically like to be able to sprint. Um, Jogging, I do that and I've done that, but I like moving quickly more. I think that it uses your muscles in such a way that you don't lose muscle, or at least you're less likely to lose muscle, and it also can sculpt. It can sculpt. I think it helps you to get a more athletic physique. Case in point, look at a um marathon runner versus a sprinter. And sprinter's going to be a lot more chiseled, going to have more muscle mass. It's not that runners wouldn't be lean, but if you compare the body composition, is different, and you know what I'm talking about. So I like to be able to sprint. And then also, hill sprints are a way of adding resistance to sprinting, that you're not going to get from just sprinting on flat ground. And also, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people are scared of hill sprints, thinking that they're kind of bad on your knees. I don't think that they're as bad on your knees as you might think, if you feel that way. Because the thing is, whenever you're running up hills, like, the fact that whenever you're sprinting up, it's like your feet are getting in contact with the ground a little quicker. It allows you to use like your quads and some of those other muscle groups a little bit more as shock absorbers. So, in my opinion, and I'm not like a physiologist, or something like that, but I am a trainer. But in my opinion, hill sprints kind of help your muscles to be used a bit more as shock absorbers when you're going up against that force of gravity, but your feet aren't having to travel as far down. So you get a little bit more contact with the ground, while your knees are more bent versus less bent. And so you get a little bit more shock absorption with the muscles versus the joints. So I've enjoyed those safely because of the fact that I think that they use my leg muscles as more of brakes, so to speak. All right, now, so I did 500 hills. So that was approximately, if you divide, it's about 4 weeks in a month. So you divide 500 by four. So that's approximately 125 hills a week. Okay, and so the first week I didn't do that many. I did close to, I think I did 100 in the hundred and teens, and so I knew I had to pick it up. I did, but I did do approximately, give or take, 125 hills a week, and I split it up. So I literally did 3 days a week of hills because I do my legs. I train legs anyway 3 days a week, and so I would literally split it up 3 days a week, and in each day, I typically would go to the track where the hill is twice a day. Okay. And so I did days in between so I can recover. Maybe back in the day, it would have been, probably easier to do, consecutive days, 3, 4 consecutive days a week. But I'm trying to recover a little bit more, and I've seen more of a need for recovery, here in my upper 30s. So I did a day in between. Now, another thing I had to grapple with is the heat. Now, I'm not afraid of working out outside. I prefer to work out outside. I like being outside in this beautiful world that God has created, and I feel that the scenery helps me to work out. It also allows me to kind of like clear my mind and pray and think, and be more present, so to speak. Um, but it's hot. It's hot. For most of this challenge, it's been hot outside here in Middle Georgia. It has been hot. So, like, literally, well, typically in the morning time, I get more hills in. So, the temperature might be in like the mid to upper 70s. It's not that bad. Then I do some hills around lunchtime. Then it's like mid 90s, sometimes upper 90s. And so I take more breaks. Um, and then do less overall hills. So maybe like 30 something, well, upper 20s to 30 something hills in the morning and maybe up to 20 hills in the afternoon. So now, one thing I probably should have done that I didn't do is actually kind of track like muscle. I do have a tape measure so I can kind of, check and see if there's been muscle growth. I don't typically care too much about tracking like that, so I didn't do it. But I do believe, just kind of based on like looking in the mirror and whatnot, that I had a little bit of muscle growth there. I need to check and see if my weight changed or whatever. I kind of doubt it. My weight tends to hold pretty steady around about 175 ish. But just by virtue of the fact that I was doing that much more cardio, um, I feel like perhaps it probably kind of balanced out a bit. But I definitely noticed my lung capacity, my cardio capacity increase and whatnot. Um, and I felt stronger, you know. Um, but the main thing that this kind of like really taught me, if you will, or I say in some cases reminded me of, is the power of just pushing forward and just keeping on. What I mean by that. So 500 hills is a lot of hills. And I know some people did 250 hills. That's a lot of hills. That many hills, looking at that big number can be daunting. So the first thing is, when you're going after a goal like that, at least with me going after this goal, I didn't think so much about the end goal. I think I thought enough about the end goal, 500 hills, just to kind of set my trajectory, to know where I was going. And then I had to kind of know, okay, I generally need to break it up 125 hills approximately every week. And so then once you set that goal, and you kind of know generally what you need to do, just kind of push. The next thing is, I have more capacity than I realized, and it's always the case. So case in point, the today when I did hills and I finished up my hills, I did 40 hills. Prior to that, the most I had done in one setting was 34 hills. Okay. And so you're talking about, today it took me, I was out there for about 45 minutes getting those 40 hills in. And I got like two or three significant breaks in there. Like I did 20 hills and then I walked the track, the 400-meter track. Then I did 10 more hills and I took another break and I did 10 more hills and kind of did micro breaks. But it was tough. And so literally, especially what I find is, whenever I'm going after a goal and I know kind of the number that I'm shooting for, like I knew I was shooting for 40, then especially maybe like half of the way, then 2/3 of the way, I really, really, really start to struggle. The discomfort does increase for sure, but more than anything, it's the mental battles. So, like, I know that I can do it. I know that I can, but the mental struggle gets extremely difficult. But what I have to remind myself, and I'm saying this to you too, is that don't worry about it. Just do it. Just do it. Just keep on pushing. Just keep on getting your heels in. Keep on getting your reps. Because if you focus a lot on the discomfort of working out, then you magnify it. Period. Now it's already going to be magnified because you're getting closer to failure. You're really taxing your muscles, taxing your cardio system. But you just have to, like, as they say, put one foot in front of the other. That's all you got to do. And you kind of almost have to, like, you almost have to go into like robot mode, so to speak, where you don't really think about what you're doing. You just do it, because there's a way of kind of thinking about it where you'll make it ultra, ultra hard. So this is where, the folks like David Goggins, kind of come to mind. If you know about David Goggins, this dude is a former Navy SEAL and he went through Hell Week, some insane amount of times, and he does these ultra marathons and he set the Guinness Book of World Records for pull-ups, the most pull-ups done in a day. There's a certain place that you have to be mentally where you just don't really think too much about the pain. Let me say this too, and I'm about to wrap this video up. One thing that I think that really messes us up with exercise and really life in general, but I just want to talk about exercise here, is that we don't want to be uncomfortable. And I keep on coming back to this. But if you're going to do something, if you're going to get somewhere in your body that you haven't been before or that you haven't been in a long time, you have to just accept the fact that it's going to be a challenge. Period. Because you're not there now. And so with anything to get from one place to another, you got to do something new. Okay? Whatever it is, you have to do something new. You have to push yourself. You have to challenge yourself. You have to kind of set some foods aside if you're going to get to a better place. So if you can just accept that, if you just can accept once and for all that it's going to be a challenge, that's most of your battle. Because we're so conditioned on trying to find an easier way. Forget that. Forget it. The easier ways tend to come with some sort of catch anyway. So if you could just accept the fact it's going to be a challenge, you got it. Okay. But anyway, just to wrap it up, I did 500 hills. It was a big mental battle, especially when I was going for like high rep ranges, 33, 34 hills, 40 hills, or whatever. But you just got to put one foot in front of the other, especially if you want to get results that you haven't gotten before. Non-typical great results. Got to make sure you stretch, especially stretch those Achilles tendons. I think that's very important because I would sometimes have a little bit of tightness in there, but I ain't trying to pop a tendon, so I just make sure I stretch, afterwards. Matter of fact, I need to stretch now. Um, but yeah, man, I'm just ready to kind of, do the next challenge. My next challenge, I think, right now is going to be a stretching challenge. Because I know myself, but I know a lot of you out there probably don't stretch enough, so we're gonna make that happen. But yeah, 500 hills, and I'm always gonna incorporate, as far as I'm concerned, hills in my leg workout because I like the explosiveness of them, and I think they're good for building definition, strength, and even to some degree muscle into the legs. So yeah, and this definitely is gonna happen again. Maybe next time I go for 750 hills or 1,000 hills, we'll see. Anyhow, um, what do y'all think about hills, man? Does anybody else out there do hill sprints like I do? All right, y'all, take care. As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my body weight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/Sean B2B Fitness today. If you like this content, you might also be interested in one of my books. Learn how you can take steps literally today to successfully manage, control, and overcome common issues such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and belly fat. It's all about putting power back in your hands to improve your own health. Get your book copy today by the links in the description or by visiting SeanMcClennan.com/books. Also, don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe and join my email list at SeanMcClendon.com/subscribe.